All right, good afternoon, traders. So I am spending some time on this new analytics panel for this year, even dialing in tighter on our strategy. Is there one or two trades we can get rid of? Is there one or two trades that we can give it a little more time to work out? What are some of the nuances that we're going to discover? So the data set is small. It's building every single day. So I'm just going to show you a couple things. We're just going to play around. I don't have an exact agenda. I'm just going to show you a few things. So what I'm doing is I'm sorting the database here on show me all the entries where it's break levels, whether it's a weak break level, which is no backside, or a strong break level that does have a backside. We know how wonderful the break level trade is. So let's take a peek. So just in general, 16 winners, 14 break evens. Now, the break even for me, it might be much different than you. And so what I'm doing is I am really dialing into the break even metrics. So let's come into the break even area here. And on this break even area here, I'm going to move this over because what I really want you to see is this panel, actually this panel here, these three. These are fine. So the first one is the gift of break even. Should I be taking that? Should I be giving it more room? What does it look like if I decided to allow the trade to develop even more? So here's what these things mean. Nothing means I set my stop, I set my take profits, I remove my hand, let price do what price does. So this might have been a break-even trade, but if you would have traded with, I'm going to let it do whatever it wants to do, I'm either going to take my profits or I'm going to take a full loss. With that scenario, if you did nothing, these would become profitable trades. And in fact, then I'm marking off, could it have went 5 points? I'm just denoting that as well. That one would have went 5 points. So these three trades right here, although I record them as break even, would have been profitable. If I just have here GBE, the gift to break even, means it was just obvious. Just get out of the trade. It's going nowhere. Just get out, reset your mind, reset the chart, go get you something to drink, come back and look at everything again. And then there's okay, you didn't take the gift to break even, so you're going to take a full loser. You're going to take a full loser because you did not take the gift of break even. So this break even number is now getting drilled down further. So if you did nothing, where you had 3, 4, 5, 8 more winners, you could add 8 more winners up here to this number for a break level. Let's just remember this is break level. If on the break level, so first of all, let's continue with this nothing. So then I examined if it was nothing, could I have used my one tick rule? What is the one tick rule? Well, the one tick rule is I have a level here. Let's change the color to make this thing brighter. So you've got a level. That's the break level. Price comes up to it. It wicks it and then comes back in. It doesn't hit our stop loss that is up here. But when it does this, I'll come in and put my stop one tick above here. Would this strategy have worked? And look how many times on a break level this works. Now, this is not true on all the levels. I'm only showing you this on a break level here. But look at that. So if price wicks our level and comes back in, setting the stop at one tick is now setting yourself up to take a half loss in a lot of cases. Or it's going to go your favor. And with a break level trade, it looks like it goes your favor a lot. Looks like it goes your favor a lot. Now, it could become one of these losers because you didn't take the gift to break even. It could become one of these losers, but it becomes a smaller loser. It becomes a smaller loser, not a full loser. And because we know that the break level trade is so successful that I think on the break levels, it appears to me to be prudent that if price goes beyond the break level, it comes back in, put the stop one tick above the high of that wick, and let it roll. This is on a break level. on a break level. Now, with each of these trades, I also have every chart. I know exactly what every chart looks like, and go back in and I can look in and dial it in even further if I need to feel like I need to make some adjustments. I also have on here, for example, on a break level, which was more profitable, or which one was the best trade. Was it the base or the wick of a break level? Was it the base or wick of a break level? Well, it makes sense that if price went all the way up to the wick, you're getting close to more going to be facing the odds of a break-even trade. So it makes sense. But boy, this is why I trade the base. That's why I trade the base. Look at me, 5 pointers. Really nice. Look at me, touch and goes versus wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And look at the wiggle, wiggle, wiggle here on the break-evens. This is why historically I don't mind taking the break-even on wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. But based off this initial data on a break level trade, I might need to be a little more flexible in how I do that. So very neat data. And then let's come into the interfaces here, because I posted it in our group. Let's come down and look at it together. 2024. These are some old dashboards on here. I need to clean them up, see if there's anything I want to keep. But let's go down and look at this one. So this is the one I want to look at. So looking at the price action here. Come on, clicking the wrong thing. Price action. Look at touch and goes. Profit versus break even. You want to know why I love touch and goes? Oh yeah, we all know. Instinctively we know that. The best trade's touch and go. What about wiggle, wiggle, wiggle? You know, where it spends 3 candles about at our level. It looks like it's about 50-50. So now what I want to do though is I want to take this break even and I want to dial it in even more. So this is the wiggle, wiggle, wiggle break even trades. And this is for all break even trades. And we can see that those two pie charts look very similar. So about 45 to 50% will go in your favor. But 25% are not going to go in your favor. Do I like a trade? Would I trade a trading system that said, hey, we have a 45% win rate, 30% pure break even, obvious you should take break even, just get out, and 25% losers? I would probably say no thank you. But now this is on break-even trades. These are trades, in my opinion, you should just take break-even. But if you wanted to give a particular trade additional room, which level should that be? So let's go back into here. Actually, I think it's this table. Yeah. Make sure it's my break levels. These are my break levels. I really like... So let's do another one. I want to show another thing. So I'm also tracking, what about backup levels? That backup levels, let's go yes. We are grouping everything by profit, which is great. So let's just pull these things in and look at it from high level point of view. So requiring a backup level, requiring a backup level. 28 winners, 1 loser, we want to look at that, and then the 13 break evens. We really want to spend the most time here. The winners take care of themselves. What does the losers tell us? Well, in this case, this loser, what is this loser telling me? Look at this special situation. Reversal box. First 30 minutes of the power hour. And if I click this image, you'll see that it's a reversal box just ripping through your level. It's not a level we take. We know to watch out for reversal boxes. We know not to take the corresponding level. So although that's a loss, it's not. It's not. So let's come over here. and I'm going to dial into, once again, the gift to break even area. What do you notice here? How many losers are here? 0. 0. So if you have a clear and obvious backup level, should we be giving this more space? Now, when it's the obvious gift of break even, maybe we take it. But look at this. You do nothing, the 1 tick worked. Do nothing, 1 tick worked. Do nothing, the 1 tick worked. Do nothing, 1 tick worked. So if I'm having a backup level, this 1 tick idea that I shared with you this week, and many times actually, but we talked about it a lot this week, it seems, has a lot of power to it. Has a lot of power to it. I'm just coming over here to special situations. We do have some 8-point candle lands. First trade after a liquidity grab. Let's go look at these 2 trades there. First trade after a liquidity grab. You know how we are not a fan of that trade. First trade after a liquidity grab. In this case, that's what happened. If you would have held on, I wouldn't have even taken the trade, to be honest. But it's interesting. So that's some dialed in data that I really like. What about these trades where you were with the trend, but you were 6+ ladders? 6+ ladders. Is it any the gift of break even? Are we surprised? Are we surprised? No, we're not surprised. Let's go and look at something else here. Let's go where the entry is. Let's just look at backsides. Let's go look at backsides. Let's dial backsides in for a second. So in general, backsides, 10 winners, 1 loser. That's a reversal box. I know I've already looked at these things. I was like, I need to show a few of these. So there's the reversal box. You wouldn't have taken that trade. And now let's look at the break evens. Let's dial these in a little bit. First trade after a liquidity grab. First trade after a liquidity grab. Both of those we're not interested in. We're just not interested in them. Let's dial over here. Any losers here on a backside? No, but there's several gift to break evens. And then there's 2 if you would have done nothing, and they went 5 points. You took some heat, but you needed a backup level, and wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Now, every backsides by their nature has backup levels embedded within them. You just have to make sure that the distance of those backsides you're interested in, of the backup levels, that the distance of the backup levels are within your risk tolerance. So here's the profitable backsides, and you just don't get that many of them. Look at the touch and goes. 1 took some heat, and 1 went wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. If you are with the trend, look at this one, counter trend. You took some heat. Is that surprising? With the trend, but 5th ladder. Is it surprising you went wiggle, wiggle, wiggle on a 5th ladder? Of course not. So this data is lining up with lots of butt time. Everything is lining up. I wanted to look here 1 second. I'm not missing a field. I need to find it. Better entry, base or wick. So on a backside, the wick is winning barely. Remember, you can have, here's the wick, here's the body, and let's say price is coming up. You can trade the wick, you can trade the 50% of the wick, or you can trade the body. This one you get more trades, but when it's a touch and go, it's amazing. If it goes all the way up to the base, you're going to take a little bit of heat there, but you have backup levels waiting for it to come back. And based off the success of the break levels, this is where I think the break-even model comes into play. Do you take the gift of break-even, or do you let it go? Well, that's up to you. It's very, very difficult to decide. But notice what's not here. That if you didn't take the gift of break even, it didn't go to a loser. It didn't go to a loser. That's pretty powerful. That's pretty powerful. Now, what if we just look at the backsides in trend? So trend is exactly, let's go with the trend. 4 winners, no losers, 3 break evens, and the break evens, well, one, if you'd have done nothing, it would have went 5 points. The other ones were pretty obvious break evens. Let's look at one. So this is one that we actually, I published a video this morning. I said, although this is a backside, your ideal stop loss 13 points away. Would you actually take that trade? That one doesn't. But I do want you to notice, it didn't take out your ideal stop and it gave you the gift of break even. So that's why I noted it. Let's look at this backside. Backside, you had a bounce, but it wasn't 2 points, which is my cutoff for, and you can see it went against you and it came back. I mean, how many times are you going to see that before you just take your gift of break even? And it didn't even get to your ideal stop loss, which would have been above this wick. And then you got another gift of break even. It went a little bit in the profit, and you got another gift of break even. You know, this is where the one I say, this is a gift of break even trade. And I don't think you just take the gift. Now let's look at this one where if you'd have done nothing, what would have happened? So this would have been your backside. Your backup levels did their job. And then right after this, it goes up. So the backsides did their job. You took a little bit of heat. You could have taken the gift of break even, but if you did nothing, you would have had 5 point plus. So sometimes I think the gift of break evens become pretty obvious. Just get out, reassess the chart, and look at it again. Now let's do something else. Let's look at trend when it goes parabolic. When trend goes parabolic, trend is has any of the parabolic. Because sometimes I count that counter and counter parabolic. You see here, counter. Sometimes they were just like, that's so counter, I can't even, but that's how I denoted it most of the time. And when you look at this, metrics, counter, 4 winners, 7 flat out losers. There's nothing I can do about it. It was a flat out, rip your face off loser, 4 break even trades. Let's look at the break-even trades. Let's dial in the break-even trades. Let's come over here to the gift of break-even area. 3 of them are saying if you didn't take the gift of break-even, you're taking a full loser. So you can almost add these 3 to this. So you got 10 losers, 4 winners. So when price goes parabolic, what have I been drilling into everyone's head the last few weeks? Do not counter a parabolic move. It's not worth it. Now let's look at the opposite. Let's go look with the trend. And if you're not in our group, we're really good at this stuff here. With the trend. How many losers do you see here? 0. It didn't even bring any up. Let's look at the break evens. Let's scroll over to our break even area. So you had 1 loser in the break evens. If you said, you know what, if it's not an obvious break even, I'm just going to let it go. When it's with the trend, not a bad idea. Now, let's look at this trade. Let's just make sure I got that right. So let's go look at this trade. All right, so trending up. Now this kind of broke the parabolic, in all honesty. And it came to a break level, and you were given the gift of break even. If you didn't take it, you know, that's a tough one. I'd have to measure it about how far that was. If I remember, that was about 5 points or so underneath there. That's a weird one. But I counted this one as a break even full loser. If you didn't take the gift of break even, you probably took a loss. Now, we don't know if it's going to come back. But in this case, it did come back. In this case, I'd give it wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Look at it. 9 minutes of wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Just get out. Plus, it broke the parabolic line there, in my opinion. And what am I calling this trend? Oh, with the trend. So at this point, I wouldn't call it parabolic. Let's go back and look at it. So this was parabolic. It broke it, but I still say that's with the trend. You take that trade, in my opinion. You take it. But 9 minutes of back and forth, I think you take the gift of break even. And that's why I recorded it the way I did it. You take the gift of break even. Actually, I recorded it as a loss. As a loss. Let's see if I can find that day. Sometimes I put the date, so maybe that was on the 6th. Let's go look at that day. April. So it wasn't April 6th. That was just the day I did it on. Oh, there's the trade. Okay. So let's go back and analyze this trade here. You do it off the body or the wick. It depends. Now let's come in here and measure. Okay, that went more than our standard stop loss. And then it came back. It went more than the standard stop loss, and then it came back. That's why I'm calling it. If you didn't take the gift of break even, you took a full loss. What's a full loss on a break level? Probably 2 points. Not the end of the world. Not the end of the world. We call that a weak break level because there was no backside development. So yeah, I think I marked all of that correctly. Was there a backup level? No. No backup level. Most break levels aren't going to have a backup level. Sometimes you have a backup level. Sometimes you might have a valley. You got your break level, then you got the like an overnight low right underneath it. That's cool. You might have a 30-minute level right underneath it. That's cool. You got a backup level. You can get a break level trade with a backup level and any other minor confluence levels like a VWAP or 6 points from POC, things like that. You are probably going to do very well with that trade. So this is some of the minutia that I am going through. It is true the number of trades are low right now. I'm going to ungroup these. How many trades I got? I got 134 trades. Okay, it's not 10 trades, but it's 134. Some of these are hard to nail down, like backsides with the trend. You don't get many. And then I have the special situation category where I'm marking like trifectas and fair value gaps, 8-point zones. In fact, let's go look at that real quick. So let's come in here and filter this. Let's go to special situations is exactly 8 points. And I want you to sort this. I want you to group this by result. So let's go look at this real quick. So on 8-point candles, 10 winners, 1 flat out loser. Let's see. I was curious. Okay, that's an overnight low. So let's do this. I'm going to also come in here and say, let's only look at this for our exact core strategy entries. And then we'll leave those extra entries out. Okay. Where the special situation is an 8-point candle and is any of, there we go. I was like, something's wrong. Okay. So 8-point candle land in our strategies, our core strategy entries, 7 winners, 4 losers, 4 break evens, no losers. Let's scroll over here. 3 with the trend, 1 was parabolic. So the bottom one was parabolic. Let's remember that when we come over here. So if you'd have done nothing, well, gift a break even on that last one where it went parabolic. I still don't think you take the trade. Very cool. I mean, it's very small data, but it's interesting. It's very interesting. If you're going to trade the 8-point candles, as I say, I recommend you wait till it bounces off 2 levels and the size of the candles come down, or you trade the smallest leverage on your leverage metrics. And then manage the trade accordingly. Manage the trade accordingly. Did we look at just the touch and goes? I don't remember. I am sorry. Let's go take a peek at that real quick. I don't know if we did. Price action is exactly touch and go. And we're going to group by that. We'll collapse them all. Of course, touch and goes are all going to be profitable. There are no losers when it touches and goes. But one of the things I want to look at here on the touch and goes, I would be interested in bases versus wicks. So let's come in here, for example, and we'll come in and say, which is the better entry, bases or wicks. In this case, it's pretty darn even. Look at that, 18 and 18. Just interesting. Just interesting. What's the... There was one that was break even. It doesn't matter. So as we develop this data, I promise to share it with you more. Maybe I'll even give you access to it where you could look at the images, but I need the data to be more significant. All right, so I hope you like this inside glance.
Stay green, my friends, and to learn more about our group, go to microstrader.com.